Chapter 15, Chapter 13. The room became silent after hearing what Duke Hazel said. Raven immediately left the place after finishing his report, and Beatrix seemed to be thinking about something. Is that true, honey? The one who broke the silence was Eleanor. She was initially surprised, but after a while she felt relieved that the threat to her family was gone. Yes, that's true. I got this information directly from the spies I sent to Dougal City to look for evidence of Marcus Jacobs' involvement with a crime that His Majesty is currently investigating. Duke Castle nodded slowly at his wife, leaned back in the chair, and let a long breath. But isn't that a good thing, honey? Why do you look so worried? Eleanor tilted her head in confusion at her husband, who looked gloomy after hearing the news. I'm really happy, honey, because our family won't be in the same danger as before. But Duke Hazel hesitated to continue. But Eleanor curiously waited for her husband to continue. Likewise with Beatrix and Clara, who also listened. But I don't know whether the culprit did it with good intentions or not. Duke Hazel continued with ambiguous words. What do you mean, honey? Eleanor continued to bombard her husband with questions as she felt more and more confused and curious. What he means is he is worried if that person aims to act terrorism in the Nigel Kingdom, then his next target could be this place, isn't that? So Duke of Castellane, Beatrix, who had been silent before, suddenly answered Eleanor's question. You're right, Duke Hazel answered briefly, with a bitter smile. So do you mean? Eleanor's face suddenly turned pale. She finally realized what her husband was worried about. Yeah, right now we don't know who did it. This person is suddenly far more dangerous from Dark Legacy, and one might. He turned the luxurious residence of a Marcus Jacob into a giant bottomless pit. Duke Hazel said it in a trembling voice. It seemed that he was afraid to imagine that would happen if his resident had the same fate as Marcus Jacob. What? Eleanor and Clara, who heard it, were shocked, and their mouths opened wide. Fear showed on their faces. Even Beatrix, who was a magic king, felt a chill run down her spine, imagining that scene. Are you serious about what you said earlier? Beatrix still had doubts about what Duke Hazel said. I'm curious. Maybe this afternoon I will go to Dougal City to check it in person. I'm sure His Majesty also knows about it, because Dougal City is a neighbor of Noisome City. So Duke Hazel had to go check it out in person for a report to King Jonathan. You don't have to think about it too much, honey. Let's just pray that everything will be okay. Besides, if that person came here, we still have Beatrix who can fight him. Eleanor held Duke Hazel's hand and smiled reassuringly. Yes, honey, thank you. Duke Hazel felt calmer after seeing his wife smile, while Beatrix only smiled bitterly, hearing Eleanor overestimating herself. Father, you better rest first. so your condition will be better before you go to the jungle city. This afternoon, Kalala approached the castle and hugged her father from the other side of her mother. She was worried about his father's condition. Yes, you're right. Duke Hazel heavily stood up from his chair and walked to his room, accompanied by Eleanor and Clara. Yes, you're right. Duke Hazel heavily stood up from his chair and walked to his room, accompanied. There were only two people left in the room, Zeal and Beatrix. Zeal gave a smile, bowed to Beatrix and turned around, wanting to go back to his room to take a shower and change his clothes, but Beatrix's voice stopped him. Do you have time? Beatrix asked while sipping her tea, without seeing Zeal. Is there anything I can help, Mrs. Beatrix? Zeal stopped his steps and turned back to look at Beatrix. Before that, sit down. It will be more comfortable if we chat while sitting down. Beatrix pointed to the seat in front of her. Zeal did not hesitate because he had received permission from Beatrix and was immediately seated in front of her. So what do you want to talk about, Mrs. Beatrix? Zeal didn't want to waste time and directly asked her purpose. You don't need to rush. How about we have some tea to make a conversation more comfortable? Beatrix refilled her cup and offered Zeal tea. No thanks. Sorry, Mrs. Beatrix. I have to work soon. If there's anything important, then I'd be going. Excuse me. Zeal got up from his chair and was about to leave, but Beatrix stopped him with her words again. Do you know who did it? Beatrix glared at Zeal. She tried to determine whether Zeal was lying or not by looking at his facial expressions and body movements. What do you mean? Zeal pretended to be confused by Beatrix's question. You know what I mean? Beatrix narrowed her eyes at Zeal. I don't know what you mean. Zeal shook his head and his face looked like he was lying. I mean, the one who destroyed the Margaret Jacobs residence. Do you know who did it? Beatrix sighed heavily, finally giving up when she saw that Zeal was lying. Why are you asking me that? I'm just a butler here. If Mrs. Hazel doesn't know, how can I know? Zeal continued to feign ignorance. His face doesn't change whether he's telling the truth or lying. Beatrix couldn't have think that it wasn't someone else who did it, but a butler she currently questioning. I don't know why you think this way, but I feel that you have something to do with it. With this matter, do you really not know? Beatrix looks still suspicious of him, although Zeal doesn't show any sign of lying on his face. But Beatrix's feelings remained doubtful with everything he said. Sharp. Zeal, tough in his heart, he didn't expect that Beatrix, who was only a magic king, could suspect him like that. He never did anything suspicious. He was always careful about using his powers so as not to be seen by others, maybe sixth sense or just a woman's attitude. I just how you feel. I've been in my room since last night. I woke up very early to do my exercise routine. You Can I ask Lady Clara, because she's been accompanying my practice since morning? Zeal mentioned Clara's name, an alibi he knew because of whatever he said. Whatever it was right or wrong, Beatrix wouldn't believe it. She has been like that since the first time she met Zeal. And that's why he brought Clara's name as a witness to make Beatrix believe him more. Okay, this time I believe you. I asked Clara what you said earlier, but it turns out you're lying to me. Beatrix released her strength and puts pressure on Zeal. I will kill you. Beatrix admitted his coming attended at him. Zeal knew Beatrix was testing him. Then he kneeled and pretended to be out of breath, seeing that Beatrix immediately attracted her pressure. Eleanor is an old friend of mine, and her daughter is both my niece and student, so I won't let anyone hurt them. You should know that. I'm sorry about my previous actions. She smiled and went back to drinking her tea. I understand. When Zeal is about to stand up, he heard footsteps from behind him. Ken? What happened to you? Why are you kneeling like that? Clara rushed over to him and helped him up. She looked worried, seeing Zeal's condition. Thank you, my lady. I'm fine. Maybe I'm just tired from training this morning. He doesn't want Clara to know about the conversation he had with Beatrix, and ended up with her threatening him. Thank goodness. Next time you better not push yourself too hard, Ken. Clara softly after knowing that Zeal was fine. Yes, my lady. Then I go first. I have to work now. After saying that, he then gave a smile nod. The Beatrix and Corky left the place. Alright, Clara seemed to want to say something to Zeal, but soon swallowed her words back. She could only be seeing Zeal walking away, leaving her behind. Beatrix, who saw the exchange of the two, couldn't help but smile bitterly and shake her head. How long are you going to see him? Beatrix's voice brings Clara back to reality. I didn't see him. I'm just worried about him. You know he's my butler. If he is sick, I ask his master must take care of him. Clara turned away, her blushing face or embarrassment. Yes, you're a good master. Let's start our training immediately. We have less than a year before the academy opens. You must open your third magic circle before that time. Beatrix got up from her chair and immediately walked towards the garden behind the mansion. Why do you sound like you don't believe me, Auntie? Clara immediately followed Beatrix, who had walked first. Yes, I believe in my sweet student. Beatrix teased Clara with a chuckle. You don't believe me? Clara and Beatrix continued to joke around until their figures disappeared in the direction of the back garden.